All right, hello, faithful listeners. Welcome to Toasty Robot E3 coverage, part 1. There's a lot. There's a whole lot. We're gonna break this up into bite-sized chunks for easy digestion. So,
we're still processing it, man.
that is so true.
I get to pass the E3 log.
I was actually physically tired after day 1, just for, I don't go to a lot of concerts and things like that, so I don't use my voice very much to express how excited I am about things, but I was hoarse after the Sony thing, man. My voice was worn out from like the 20 times I was like, yeah!
I cried.
Oddly enough, that was like a moment that I could have spit blood when we were doing the talk with the PlayStation people.
Right.
Which was one of the reasons I actually wasn't, because I went in there sore. I actually had like a little issue going on with. Yeah. So I'm sitting there like, okay, we're about ready to talk, and as soon as she popped the first question to the random dude standing next to us,
right.
It was like blurp, and I'm like,
oh,
this E3 is so amazing, I'm ready to spit blood.
Oh, you should have done it. You should have done it. Be like, I signed the goddamn release forms. Like, it's well within my rights.
I should have signed the release form with just. We're good.
Old school.
Custom signature.
Sign it in blood. Yeah.
So
we're gonna run it down just in order of how it happened. Bethesda coming out swinging, man. Like, first E3 showing for them, doing their own press conference, and they hit a home run, man. They were very on point with exactly how these things need to be done. Just games.
They really did their homework. Right at the beginning, straight off. That was it.
They did a good thing. So they started out with Fallout 4. I mean, pretty much a known quantity at that point. We got a much larger look at what that game is bringing to the table. So prepare to lose your holiday season to that game, because it is this year. Yeah. And man, that is the way to do it. That is the way to announce a game. Show it 6 months later, it's out. I so wish everybody would follow suit there, man. These year-long waits, 2-year-long waits for stuff, it's getting to be too much. I mean, Adam made up a very good point about that, you know. Here's a little trailer, here's another little trailer, here's another little trailer, and here's some gameplay, good luck, you know. It's
like the little cookie crumbs to the cookie. You're like, where's the cookie?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous that they play that way. Like, that's exactly what me and Michael were talking about. I think we actually talked about that in another podcast.
Yeah.
Where it was, you're not going to sit there and release a game, or announce a game, I'm sorry. You're not going to announce a game, and then just like, here's a cinematic trailer, and then like 6 months later, like, here's more cinematic trailers, and then 6 months after that, be like, here's more cinematic trailers.
Yeah, it's diminishing returns on a lot of that stuff. By the time you get to the point, it's like, I heard a lot of people giving interviews and whatnot, E3 this year, games that are like really close or stuff that's coming out this year, distance themselves. Like big members of the press were like, I don't need to watch that game. You know, that game's out in like a few months. Just save it. You know, I'm good. I'll wait until then. You know, that's perfectly fine. That's. I don't think you need to devote too much stage time to when things are really close to coming out. Like, I don't think Batman should have been at anybody's press conference this year, but it was. I mean, that game's out in a week. You know.
Yeah.
How much more coverage could you possibly need?
I know we're not to that point yet, but it was completely useless how they announced it, because they didn't bring it to E3 to showcase it. They brought it to a very specific showcase to basically just brag that they had something the other consoles didn't have.
Yeah, that's fair. But anyway, so Fallout 4 this year, it looks incredible with all the city building and stuff like that, and just they sold out of their Pit-Boy edition that night. The pre-order for the special edition, it was already sold out that night. People were eager. Everybody got a little taste because they released the Fallout Shelter game for iOS during the show that night. People seem to be really enjoying that.
No love.
No love at all.
No, okay, yes, Android getting no love yet. They did. There was a story that came up either yesterday or today that it's on the way. It's coming. Yeah,
they were like months.
Yeah. So
No, I think it's funny. Like, we were talking about how the Pip-Boy doesn't really hold certain phones.
Oh yeah. That was one of my concerns. Was how are they accounting for different shapes and sizes of phones to fit inside the little Pip-Boy for the interface? And did a little more research on that. Apparently, we tuned out when Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb were interviewing the Bethesda guys afterwards. They said that different shapes and sizes of like little foam inserts are going to come with the Pip-Boy edition to fit different size phones and things, and that's pretty cool. So that's a neat collector's edition.
So each time you upgrade your phone or whatever, you have to get a new one. You're like, oh great.
Pip-Boy made for the larger phone.
They need yeah. Here's our collector's edition number 2.
I could just imagine like this huge phone like sticking out the side of it, just like
that thing is not going to get used. It's not.
No,
I'll use the companion app on my phone. That little Pip-Boy will go on my shelf with my fucking every other little knick-knack that I'm supposed to.
Yeah, I have boxes of collector's edition and pre-order items that I just took one look at and said, "Nah, that's cool." Later, that was worth the extra $10. Never. Okay, so after they dropped the huge news that Fallout 4 was coming this year, they moved on to what I think was one of our most anticipated things was the first real showing of Doom.
Did they open with
Yes.
They open with Doom.
So what? Whatever.
Move on.
I just went down the list from how it was laid out on their website. Doom was listed after Fallout 4, but who cares? Doom.
No, it's awesome. What are you talking about?
Let's note immediately that the game does not look slow.
No, yeah. I think it looks just fine. Doom looks totally awesome. Like, that is everything that I could have wanted from Doom.
Oh, this is more than I could have ever dreamed of for Doom. Since, I'm a huge Doom fan. I have every single release of that game in any shape or form. Doom 3, I have the Xbox version. I have the 360 BFG edition, and this and that and the other. I even have the PC version. The old ones. Man, wow. I'm just so I have everything, and I'm just totally excited. And I knew Bethesda was going to totally show this game for what it was. What it was made for. This is what Doom 3 was supposed to be. Yeah. That's what I'm so excited about.
So you didn't like the flashlight feature?
What?
You didn't like the flashlight feature? Come on, that was the coolest part of the game.
Well, it was, but it was
No, it was not cool. Not at all. It ruined that game. It turned it into a horror corridor shooter. Fuck Doom 3, dude. Just...
Well,
that's unfair.
No, fuck Doom 3. Doom 3 was a massive letdown, man. It was a total letdown, but I think they have more than made up for that game with this. This is what Doom needs to be. I
can't
so
even
violent,
talk about Doom 3 anymore.
No,
I can't.
No,
it's this is totally going on the shelf forever now. This is what's replacing it.
The new one though, it's
was Doom 3 already? When was the last time you played Doom 3? It was already on your shelf forever.
No, he played Doom 3 last week, and the week before that, and the week before that.
That's what Mike keeps telling me. He's like, "Dude, you just need to quit," and I'm like, "I can't."
There's other games.
I have to get a little bit of it in there.
I'm not going to go as far as to say fuck Doom 3 that it was some travesty they owed us one for, but
no, it was
that game should have run out its glamour a long time ago.
No, at least once a week we have that conversation at work. I'll ask him, "Hey man, did you play anything? What have you been up to?" He's like, "Yeah, I played some Doom 3." Motherfucker! You have this stack of unopened, unplayed games that you need to get to, and he's like, "Well, the call of Doom 3 was too much to resist."
Well, the game's going to be difficult, right?
Oh, and that just makes me rock hard, man. Bring it on. Yeah.
If you're still going back to Doom 3 after this new one comes out, I'm afraid we're going to have to let you go. You were no longer allowed to be a member of the...
fan.
You don't have to worry about that at all.
I hope not. I hope not.
I was thoroughly impressed, and it's everything that I could have ever imagined.
It's so violent. It's but
Chainsaw.
But I don't know. When we were watching the reveal, we were talking about just how just unbelievably gory it was. But then if you take a step back and look at it, it was kind of tastefully gory too. I think it was.
Well, they got everything right instead of in the first one, everything exploding in meat chunks everywhere.
Yeah.
There was a lot of meat chunks.
There was definitely a lot of meat chunks.
Yeah.
But Yeah, no, Doom 4. I'm still gonna call it Doom 4 because they didn't call this one Doom.
Or with the 4 O's.
Yeah, Doom.
I think me and Adam's takeaway on that was the double barrel.
Yes.
That was the, why is that the most powerful handgun in all of the world?
The super shotgun.
The super shotgun, right.
Was like a 400... At this point in the game's timeline was like a 400-year-old shotgun.
Yeah.
Their regular shotgun was a futuristic, regular space shotgun. I don't understand how that
like a streamlined version of it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We also talked about why there's chainsaws there with not a tree in sight. But...
Space lumberjacks.
Yeah.
We're gonna need this.
Cut down the space trees.
I would play that. That's the. So you heard it here first. First expansion for Doom, Space Lumberjack Chronicles.
I'm down.
Yeah. So after Doom, they moved on with. Wasn't much of a surprise since they accidentally leaked it on their Twitch stream.
But still,
yeah.
I mean,
so Dishonored 2 is coming, which cool. I'm in. I like the first Dishonored. It's good.
Didn't log any time with it.
No, you like BioShock?
You missed out.
Okay.
Think of that, but like with better combat.
Does it have bees?
It does have bees.
Oh, well, no. You get this one, sir.
So, and I guess in order to catch everybody up, so they're releasing the definitive edition of the original Dishonored onto the new platforms also, because a lot of people probably missed Dishonored, I think. It came out at a weird time.
Which I was one of them.
Well,
I was one of them, and
you miss a lot of games, though.
No, but it's my time to. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you were too busy playing Doom 3 to care about Dishonored.
But now it's my time to catch up. While all these HD releases and stuff come out, man, totally gonna just grab it, and run with it.
Yeah, that was a cool one. I feel that's kind of a.
It's still gonna fall for a weird time with the game's gonna come out. Hey, gonna get that Dishonored HD? Did you know there's an expansion to Doom 3?
You can be a lumberjack in space.
So showing a lot of love for a franchise there that probably doesn't have as much revelry as it deserves, but that's cool. Dishonored, good games. I like them. Then we had a little bit of information about that. Battle Cry? I don't know. Nothing about that looked really interesting or impressive to me.
Everybody loves Team Fortress with swords.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like Dynasty Warriors?
No, it was very much like it looked like a multiplayer shooter, but everybody just used like melee type weapons. I don't know.
I didn't really particularly. It just didn't look.
It was definitely the lull in their show for sure.
But I do like the guy that was trying to sponsor that though. On the
which guy?
And E3, the guy with the cane.
No, that's not.
Wow, see, and that's how confusing that IP is. Because everybody's like on this train.
No, different game, different press conference.
Man, my head is so full of press conference.
You know what? You're totally allowed.
That's
fair.
Yeah.
You're totally allowed. Not too much to say about that game. I don't really.
I won't be playing it.
No.
Why would I be playing it?
You take one for the team.
You're probably right, because good lord, I'll probably be like, I'm getting Lego. Anyway, shut up, I'm getting Lego.
Yeah, so then they had a little showcase with Elder Scrolls Online where they announced the Elder Scrolls Legends, the card game, whatever, Hearthstone with Elder Scrolls stuff.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot.
So yeah, I didn't know. Yeah,
he's blocking that memory out.
So that's getting a standalone version, but it's also integrated into the Elder Scrolls Online. I didn't know that. I thought it was just a standalone game. But
so Elder Scrolls Online is using the Final Fantasy VIII side game.
I guess. I think the Final Fantasy card games have made their way into all of their MMOs though. I'm pretty sure the card game was in 11.
So Elder Scrolls is all like, we got to get on this.
Well, I think they're more or less trying to copy the success of Hearthstone than anything else.
Yeah, but with it integrating into the game and everything, but
the standalone version is also coming. Yeah.
All right, that's awesome. People play Firefly card games all the time. Anyway.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. It's neat.
Yeah,
I mean, the card game thing seems to be pretty popular. Not for me. I mean, if I'm going to play a card game, I'd rather have physical cards. I really do think Hearthstone is cool and it's done some neat things, but I'd rather like buy decks and like play that in real life than digitally, honestly.
That requires a lot of extra money and friends, though.
Yeah, sure it does, but then that's why you choose that hobby, you know? If you're into card games, you have money and friends.
Well, I'm into Hearthstone, and I don't have either of those other things. So.
Yeah, that's why Hearthstone is made just for you, man.
I wouldn't mind actually there being a physical copy. We're getting off topic.
No, you're right, though. I
wouldn't mind having a physical copy of that.
No.
Like, being that guy who,
Did you ever play the World of Warcraft card game?
Hearthstone?
No, the World of Warcraft card game. The actual trailer game.
Lord, no.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Lord, no.
An actual card game?
Yeah, there was. It's discontinued now.
Yeah,
like, how quick did it, like...
It didn't. It wasn't quick. It lasted a very long time.
Oh, really? I haven't. This is the first I've ever heard of it.
That's not a surprise.
You just moved into the geek forest, so...
Yeah, I'm redeeming myself.
So, okay, well... Elder Scrolls card game. I missed it because of other obligations.
It's fine. You didn't really miss.
So did they close out on anything?
What did they close out on? Well, they closed out on their thing was to commemorate their first E3 conference. They gave out a set of collectible figurines to everybody in attendance. That had it was like a 3-pack of figures. It had a Doom character in it. It had a Dishonored character in it, and it had a Fallout character in it.
So basically, characters from the 3 games that I will be playing.
Yes, yeah. So everybody in attendance got one of those, and then they're also those have started popping up on eBay now for like ridiculous prices too.
Did they
like,
do it Oprah style?
Yes.
Everybody look under your seats. You're getting a car.
Basically, except they were like, you can get them on the way out. Kind of deal, but yeah,
I prefer it under the seat.
Yeah, they're holding some kind of contest to give those away to people who weren't in attendance, or you can go on eBay and pay like $400 for them if that's your bag.
Could I just buy like one of the little characters? Like, I wonder how much that would cost.
Yeah, they were only in the 3-pack there, but that's like the last thing that they did. But overall, it was a pretty good showing for them. They spent a lot of time showing like actual footage and gameplay from all of these games, except for Dishonored. That was just like a CG trailer.
Right. So what's the date on Doom?
No firm date on it. They just gave a spring 2016 for Doom. Dates on everything else I'm hazy on because mostly I kind of don't care. But
we'll know as it gets closer.
Yeah, I mean Fallout obviously that's this year. That drops on and
everything they talked about was either coming. Dishonored is the only one that doesn't have a firm like release.
Yeah. The definitive edition of Dishonored is out this year though.
Yeah,
that is out this year. And obviously Fallout 4 we've got on November the 10th.
Oh, the definitive edition, wasn't that coming out in September, if I remember right?
That sounds right, I believe. I think somewhere, yeah. It's soon. It's real soon, for sure. So, like, overall thoughts on Bethesda, you guys? How do you think they did? That was pretty good for a first showing.
They're getting my money.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
They're getting my money.
They're getting a lot of money.
I thought it was funny that they did a lot of pre-E3 talks. They did the teaser trailer for Doom. Fallout 4 like the week before they released that trailer, and then the leak, the hot mic Twitch incident, for Dishonored 2, and from what I understand, they still brought us a really solid show. So even with like all that, like all our cards are on the table, but we're still gonna fucking nail it. So
just for the record, the hot mic Twitch incident is the name of my new S&M Dungeon Club. So you guys be sure and visit that.
Their showcase didn't rely on the surprise attack. They didn't need to go in there and hit you with something that was going to blow everybody's mind. Like, you knew going into their showcase what they were going to talk about.
But it did though. It did blow people's mind.
Well, yeah, because they brought gameplay.
Because they brought gameplay, right?
It's really important.
They didn't do their showcase to announce games. They did their showcase to basically give the information on the games people already knew were coming. That wouldn't have just fit somewhere else. And so, like, they didn't want Doom just to get a passing glance at somebody else's showcase. People have waited way too long for Fallout 4 just for Microsoft or Sony or somebody like, Fallout 4, it's on its way.
Right. Yeah, but between the two different versions of the two different gameplay trailers that they showed for Doom, it easily hit about the 15-minute mark. That's a lot. That is a lot of stuff of gameplay.
I love what they're saying is that the guy who's doing the gameplay is actually like aces at the game. Because you're watching the playthrough and you're like, okay, cool. This looks like not that much twinkle pinches, But like afterwards, like as soon as the press conference was done and the post show and everything like that, they hit us with the headline of like, yeah, it's going to be hard.
That's great.
It's going to be like the guy playing it is actually like good.
That's awesome. I'm glad. I mean, because it's like we were talking last night. You name your game Doom, that comes with a certain expectation that it's not going to be a cakewalk or twinkle pinches.
Yeah.
I think they did a real good job, and like you guys said, like if you're gonna have, your first outing at E3, you've got to bring it. You have to bring it. I remember when they announced that Bethesda was gonna have their own press conference. That there was a lot of raised eyebrows on that. Like, why? Like, what could they possibly have to show? Like, do they have that many things? Now, granted, they didn't have that many games to show, but they showed a lot of the games that they brought.
Well, yeah, we were talking about this the other, right before, or right after the Bethesda show, you and I, about how they cycle out, anyway. Like, 1 year it's this, 1 year it's this.
Yeah.
I love the fact that they've actually padded it up a little bit. They're like,
yeah.
Oh, also, Doom. Okay, yeah, cool, Dishonored 2. But yeah, it does seem to move in like a rotating cycle. Like,
I was really disappointed not to see the sequel to Wet come up on that. I'm joking, of course.
Are you though?
No. No, I'm not.
All right.
But I really do think that it was good that they showed gameplay for all these games, or they showed us a lot of stuff.
You have to. When you're bringing so few things like they were, like you can't just pop up and show a couple of trailers and peace out. They had to show gameplay. They had to. The other guys can afford to just. Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, whatnot, they can afford to just devote time in their press conferences to just trailers because they usually got so many other things to show. Like, that's perfectly reasonable. Going down the list here, it's like 1, 2, 3... Really only 3 games were really shown at this thing,
Technically 4.
Well, I'm talking about real, actual games. Fallout Shelter is fun for what it is, but that's not what people were there for.
I can't wait to actually see that come on Android.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Early buzz about that saying that people are really digging it. They've got rid of all the problems with free-to-play games and made everything optional.
That was the solution, everybody.
Well, it just doesn't hound you to death with microtransactions.
Because it only has one microtransaction in it, and honestly, I didn't know where the fuck it was at.
All right, well, then they did a good job.
Yeah, it doesn't it doesn't even tell you it's there. It's just one day you're playing and then you just stumble upon it.
And then you're like,
oh, here it is.
That's cool though, but I'm looking forward to Fallout for sure. But my big takeaway from that was definitely Doom, because I've been wanting to see that for a long time, and Doom 3 was a pretty big letdown. It wasn't metal enough, man.
But the opening music was to Doom 3. It was definitely.
I'm not talking about the music, man. I'm talking about the mood, the feeling.
Yeah,
metal.
This new Doom feels like it's complete.
This new Doom is fucking metal.
He reviews all of his games. He sits down, he plays about a half an hour of it, and goes, "But would a Norseman play this?"
Yeah, this Kirby's Epic Yarn, man. This is just not metal enough. I'm good. But, so yeah, that was Bethesda, and they set the pace. They set the pace well for what is still turning out to be a really great E3 so far. It's been awesome. So, on that note, we're going to go ahead and...
To the controversy.
Close it.
What controversy?